well, my name is Zuki Taib. It's a little bit of a mouthful to actually say, but sort of in the sphere, I've come to know as myself as Go Zulu, or otherwise, in some space, I'm also known as a voice tech guy. So I've been around for many years in the crypto world, but sort of in the background. I've done a few projects, startups in the past, but then I diverged myself to running and several startups before ending up back in a secular manner back to crypto a few years back. So I've also known to in the voice text, what do we call it? Voice tech world. So Alexa and a Google Assistants and the things related to AI. So recently I've been given the recognition as an AWS community builder. I'm sure some of you guys are also AWS community builder. So yeah, I was very thrilled and excited about this opportunity to take a look at how we can actually grow this pixel avatar stuff. So something related I was working on previously or still are at the moment. So I've been working on the Avagotchi project to develop some mini games for the Avagotchi, and also I guess the other ones are just something behind the scene I can't disclose as of yet. But yeah, so it's myself. I'm not known as a very how to say expert in any way. I will call myself an expert, but what I do is I bring people together sometimes and sort of help. Uh, Sort of push things along together at speed. So I've grown business in 6 different countries before, and to for 7 figures, 8 figures companies. So that's why I think I can contribute to this and to make sure that we go ahead collectively as a group, as together as one, and push things as fast as possible. So what I'm showing at the moment. Before I go further, so if there's anything you want to interrupt, just feel free because we'll try to wrap this up within 1 hour with a little bit of buffer of 30 minutes. But if there's something, this is a collaborative effort. There's no way I am actually I don't know. I'm just taking up something because I feel that this thing needs to move along and somebody got to sort of push this ahead. So in no ways I'm going to dictate, everything that we have to do here. This is all a kind of collaborative effort with everybody out here, and we're here to do a few things which I'll like to propose in the mandate that we have on the screen at the moment. So we're going to go through a few things. One is the definition of what this project is all about, and then we're going through some mandates with some guidelines of what I think we should do, and then we can discuss about that as well, and sort of the general approach that I think we should have. And lastly, some of the stuff that we can use to actually collaborate. So, and discussion points will open in every one of these circles that you see here, and then we can kind of get some input from everybody to see how we want to move things forward. So again, this is the wait, da, developer DAO. I don't know how to say the word DAO, but the Pixel Avatars project kickoff. So let us kind of define what is. So just a step back. So it was originally sort of not defined, but Nyok, I think. Nyok, I guess you're in the audience somewhere. Um, Nyok built a kind of a graphical version of the traits that were generated by Nader's NFTs. The SVG that was actually presented were all in words. But what he did was he changed that into some kind of graphical representation for each one of the traits. So if we want to sort of have a look at it, one of the key things that we want to try to do is, so let us define what is it that we want to do, the core itself, the definition of what kind of product that we want to try to achieve. And there's a lot of talks about all sort of different products that are out there or derivatives that we can come out with this. But I think there must be one core product that's sort of genesis of everything, and that's where we are going to start. So then we can get very quick wins first, as fast as we can, and then get some momentum going, and then hopefully it snowballs into all the other project and derivatives that's out there. So in order of that, I want to sort of lay out and discuss first what we want to do, the core, and then what utility does these things have, and then features that we want to try to achieve to have on this, and also along with that, some other derivations after that. What next? What do we want to do after that? So the core of it is basically, as you can see here, one of it is done by Neok, and I don't know how to pronounce the other person's name. Ikonbi. Oh. So
Knobel.
Konobu.
Yeah.
Konobu. Okay. Yeah, Konobu is the one bottom left-hand corner there, and the bottom right-hand corner. And Neok, the original person who came out with it, did a version for me, which is the top, which is my developer code 2272. He did for another person before, but I didn't quite catch where that avatar, that pixel avatar image was. So as you can see here, the main core product that we wanted to try to do, that we started all this, is the Pixel Avatars Generator, the tool to generate the graphical version of the traits generated for the Death for Revolution NFTs. So for some of you who just joined us, there is a differentiation, I think. I think in Twitter I saw somebody ask, what is D4R? So D4R is actually the Death for Revolution NFT itself, which is I believe it's an ERC 721 token. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But there is actually a more advanced version or later version which people are adopting now, called the ERC 1155, which I believe that's probably the direction that we should take this project if we want to actually do it. There's a lot of reasons why we should move it out to if we were to come out with a NFT product that's linked to this, to use the ERC 1155. But having said that, so that's where we are. So each one of those elements on top are just the traits, and it's a very simple. If you think about it, right, it's kind of a very simple concept, really. There's a lot of work in terms of coming out with the different items. I believe there's quite a lot of combination, a few different traits out there, and each trait's got multiple different items, and to sort of line them up together, so then every possible combination doesn't will show something that is meaningful, right? So I think one of the challenge that it could not be have is sorry, I call it E. Let me call it E.
Okay.
And what? Sorry, sorry about that. I'll promise after this I'll learn by heart how to pronounce that name. So what E comes up with, and it'd be interesting to hear from the two designers, like Neok and E, if they're around. Sorry, obviously they're around probably. To hear some of the challenges that you have, and I believe space is an issue here that we're trying to solve as well when we're generating this stuff. So over to Neok or E. Do you want to say something about this?
Yes. Well, the main problem was to fit all the items in the screen. There is one that is professional. I think it's complicated to integrate, so that's the only one that's missing. But the rest are all there. So that's the basic thing to do was to get the first design ready, and now that it is finished, now I can just make all the items ready, separated, and ship them for you to code.
Okay. That's awesome. So I think I think it's pretty clear now from what I hear from E and probably Neok also, that we know what we want to try to generate, and between the two of you, I guess you can collaborate to come up with the pieces. I think in the past, most of it are done using SVGs. As you can see, Nudus one is actually developed just by using SVG tags. And I'm not quite certain exactly why bitmap are not being used as such. And these are on-chain NFTs, right? But we might have to take a step back and sort of put it into a little bit more kind of tangible item first for us to develop, which is nothing to do with possibly Solidity first. We just need to get the generators out. So I think the first product that we want to try to achieve is perhaps just something that piece up all these artifacts together, right? Given all those traits that's given. So let's say 72, somebody put in 2272, and it'll generate an image on the screen. So let's not complicate things a lot more, and probably can have separate tracks then that can look at things that we can do to put it into a kind of Solidity contract that can then depend on the output that is generated from the random. I think there's a random function that spits out all this thing from the Nudus contract. And then from there, you can probably put it as an input into the somehow. I'm not sure, but this is something that we probably can discuss a bit more. I mean, the idea of this particular session here today is not to dictate how exactly we want to do it, but just to see what kind of stuff that we need to do and the kind of approach we can agree collectively and who to actually start doing stuff and things like that. So, E, are you happy and Neok to take the sort of designing of these artifacts along the way?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
If anyone can help, that would be okay, but I can do it. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
You're quite far along with the design, right, mate? I think you've done quite a few, but you were struggling to fit one of the categories into the image that you'd created, right?
Sorry?
What was the category that you were having problem with?
The profession.
Okay.
For example, I was trying to it's money laundry and government, and it's complicated to define in an image and to make it. I can try to make it, for example, an image to be added to the.
Yeah.
To the guy, but it's complicated to define. For example, he's working in government.
Yeah,
I will have to make a building or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's very, very hard. Let's put it out there that it's very, very hard for us to actually come up with something that can be, exactly depicted what it is, right? So I think the key things here is uniqueness, right? So as long as that there is a representation for money laundering, be it some money sticking out from his nose or I don't know where, but or the government, like the one that like my character up there is supposed to be a government dude, just with a tie and two bodyguards at the back, but it's just something that is kind of consistent but unique. Yeah.
Sorry, it's just because there is the clothes that he has is, for example, one of the categories is navy suit. So that that's one. I could try to add as a text, just like in the original one there is the text deb 2272. I can add that and the text tag that he's money laundry, and we can solve it like that.
Yeah, there is actually icons at the bottom. There's the red icon and the yellow icons. I believe Neok, if she's here, he can probably tell you what he thinks it represents. But we can possibly, I think text might be a little bit. I would try to steer away from text other than DEV. The reason why I don't want that is because of localization. We have another issue there. So we should money laundering, then we must spell the money laundering in multiple different countries, whatever. So I think we should, if all agree, obviously, we should have symbols and whatnot rather than, or emojis even, rather than the actual text. So then we don't have to worry about localization, and it's kind of internalized right from the start kind of thing. Although obviously the interface generator needs to be localized, which is another thing, but that leads the blockchain has already stuff to not. Yeah, so I think that bear that in mind. But yeah, I mean, look, do what you can, and whatever that you know, it's kind of the design that you see. So sorry, there was someone who actually say something. Who was that before? You wanted to ask some questions actually. Does anybody want to ask some question to E?
For a symbol for money laundering, maybe you guys can do like kind of like a recycling logo with maybe like dollars, NFT, Binance dollars.
Yeah, that could be. Maybe that's an input for you, E, to try to see whether that can fit in.
Yeah, I can try to add an icon under the flag, and
like similar to like a recycling logo where like an arrow goes to the next picture. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, feel free in the chat, E, to post some, if you know, say this one's recycling, what you guys think. Just drop in some pictures, and you know, somebody will come in and say, hey, okay, that looks okay, you know, like it looks okay, whatever. So the idea is to get some input as you know, if you want to fail earlier, right? So or yeah, if you need some thoughts, just drop it in the chat. Some screenshot. I think every time you drop screenshot, everybody say, wow, this is getting fantastic. I think it gives a lot of shields on the the project itself.
Yeah, I can put something together and I'll send it to them, or I'll post it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's move on. A bit more. So to go on, the next one is the utility itself. And I think it's something that we can actually discuss. Now, what is utility? Utility is something that tokens or NFTs that are just, you know, aesthetic value without any utility, I think usually dies off. You know, it's nice to put or hang it, and maybe you get a dust, it's not being used. So this is up for all of you to. So I open up to the floor of what kind of utility can this. So if somebody actually have this NFT, well, on top of the DAO token, obviously this you know, go back all the way to the original SVG token, the text ones. But if somebody goes around with this our NFTs, right, what do you think they can actually do? And I think Nyok was saying something like a business card, and someone was saying that we can possibly use that to do things. Obviously, one of the things that I can think of, and I will put this out straight away, is that we should have in the site, everybody who logs into the site can actually into the main website. And I'm not sure across the main website. I think Hamster is, but you know, if somebody goes into the main website and it can actually pull out the profile picture, whatever, you know, from the NFT, they can show it on the top right hand corner to show that. So whenever somebody log into one of the site that is actually developed for DAO, they don't need to log in. There's no Google login. There's no nothing. Everything is done by just using their wallet with the NFT in it to actually log in and to do stuff. And also obviously to vote and things like that. That's another utility. But is there anything that you guys think that might be, you know, kind of innovational that we can actually use as utility if someone actually holding this NFT? Anyone?
Well, you know, one thing. Sorry. So one thing we should consider is just the possibility of selling these NFTs, because you know, this will be open to sell in the market, and I'm sure some will, you know, put it on the market. So you know, and the art is cool, right? So who knows, people would be wanting to buy these for, you know, like 0.5 ETH or something like that. So in that case, just want to make sure that we kind of let people decouple the NFT, the original DAO NFT, these pixel NFTs, and also at the same time, you know, let people trade between each others, right? I mean, you know, if I like the other pixel art, then, you know, maybe trade. But just wanted to put that out, you know.
So you're saying, yes? Are you saying that we should decouple the utility for the membership of the DAO? That means the NFT, the DAO NFT will be originally is the one that is the Nudders one, and this one, those NFT that automatically get dropped to a person who actually have Nudders DAO, and then it's transferable to other people, but it won't give you the DAO utility to vote. Is that what?
Yeah, you think you got. I think the utility should be on the original DAO NFTs, the devs for Revolution, the text, because I think the idea is if you hold that, you'll get more stuff in the future to work on other projects. I think
There's an actual.
Can I throw an idea out? The way that some of the big NFTs have done it, like Bored Ape Yacht Club, where to get a mutant NFT, you need the original NFT, and then the mutant NFT becomes a derivative of it.
Yes.
That rarity and that scarcity could be a good thing in terms of you join Developer DAO by buying the Genesis NFT, and then the next step is you can turn it into an avatar. But you have to be a member with the original NFT to then turn it into the avatar because you need the metadata from your original NFT. It's kind of like another way of looking at it, but there's definitely right about the conversation that if they're going to be sold on, the community probably wants to agree. Is there like a percentage that gets put into a treasury for the DAO or whatnot? For sure, yeah.
I think that's an excellent idea. That's awesome. I mean, everybody wants to make a little bit of bucks here and there, right? I mean, that's I think one of the things that we collectively can each one have equity in the DAO, right? And then we all like any projects, everybody will get a fair share of it going forward. So I think that's okay. I think let's put that a little bit and so mold it into a kind of a better understanding. And I think the path is, I think from what I feel you guys want is that is kind of collectively what we should do. So Nudders NFT is the main kind of Genesis SVG one, right? And then automatically it'll drop to everybody who has that. They'll get another NFTs that they can then either transfer or sell, right? And then we can do many drops. So there can be a pixel version of it, then another one could be an anime version of it, So there can be different variations, or you can have the second version of pixel even, right? The second round of pixels that might be a bit more advanced, a bit better. And who knows, in the future we can have a 3D version of the avatar drops in, right? And then the third. So you can actually do two different levels. So the first level is the Genesis into the pixel avatar version, and then another thing you can then get some kind of not serum, but caffeine drip or something like that, and then you inject into your avatars, and it becomes a mutant death. I don't know. We don't want to follow too much, but I mean, saying that can be a bit more rare beyond that, right? Then we can sell serums to people who can then generate those and then sells that in the market as well. So I think that's kind of a good roadmap. Maybe Kempster, we can put in a notes, kind of like, okay, this is like long-term roadmap where we want to try to achieve somehow, and then as we go along, define it. But as further it's be more vague. But the one closer to us, we need to be a bit more clear. And we need to be clear, and the first thing clear is maybe just do not do anything Solidity. Just get this generator out as fast as possible, so we can see the different combinations of what come out, and then we talk about putting in the Solidity, and then so on and so forth, and the next generation and whatnot. You guys agree with that approach, sort of, to the utility?
Yep, I think that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
And by the way, I think looking at sort of one utility that we can actually provide is maybe when we.
You guys can hear me, yeah? So.
We can hear you. Ether inside.
Okay. Yeah, Gold Zulu. I don't know if you can hear me. What I was saying was, what we can do is, because we're going to be spending so much time to create these pixel avatars, right? We can even give like a lower voting points, because we're going to be voting for our DAO, right? So maybe you get like 10 points for holding the DAO. Obviously, you need to vote, right? Or maybe maybe you get like 2 points if you hold pixel avatars. So maybe it's a way from outside to come in and part of the DAO. And that also could be an option, right? You get a lower voting for maybe for something project vote with the pixel avatar. So maybe that could be one utility.
So you're saying that the voting formula will be affected by how many derivatives you also have.
Yeah. So we can do that, and we can also we can say these derivatives have voting capability.
Okay, and others don't have. Okay, understand. So one thing that I can think of, right? Because everybody in the DAO, right? When you actually generate a pixel avatar for your own developer, right? Sorry, can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay, so if somebody actually comes out with a let's say a pixel avatar gets generated, right? I think the drop should automatically be 2, maybe. One with voting rights and the other one just transferable. So you always need to, the original owner, the original person who is connected to the DAO always have a version, a reference version for himself. Well, that's can drop rarity. But at least it's not so confusing. Like, so we know that everybody who has the original people like us, we always have the main avatar, at least one copy of the avatar version, and the other ones we can probably decide how many we want to release into the market. Could be 2 or 3 versions of the same, or just one version of the same thing that is actually go onto the people which do not have voting rights, for instance, kind of thing. That we can. Okay, again, this year I'm getting too deep into it at the moment because I don't think that's but this is good discussion, guys. It's good. So let's look at the features. I think we sort of covered the features like what we're discussing just now, which is what sort of feature does a tool have. I think at the very basic thing that I think we should have is just like whatever that is on the developer DAO website now. You put in the number and it spits out an image. You guys agree? Just as simple as that, as a sort of first iteration to go for.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then the next one is people who it goes in automatically. They will. I would think some of you might have 2 or 3, maybe. Anybody have more than 1? Obviously, a few of you have more than 1. The next step is probably to identify how many of these NFTs you have, and then select which one you actually want to generate from the site itself, right? So, and everything, first one, it will be just JavaScript and just purely, the only thing that probably it will be, kind of a Solidity or Web3 involved is maybe the login part, right? So that the only people who got those NFT can go in and generate those images. But other than that, I don't think, then after that we can sort of define what is it that we want with the NFT, because currently we're still a bit vague. Let's shape that down a bit further into discussions over chat and stuff like that, and maybe we can have a document and we collaborative go in and then build up that documentation together in GitHub or something like that about what is the nice thing that we need to have. Okay,
I think there were important things from that conversation about how the NFT works. Is it kind of like anyone can get it? Do you have to have the original NFT to get it? So I think the options are you would have it. It would be a derivative of the Genesis NFT that Nader created, and then Ether Insight. I can't remember what the other option that you mentioned was, and then maybe we can have a vote or a discussion afterwards on what we think is the best option, and then just roll ahead with that.
What do you mean Ether? What do you mean Ether Insight?
Yeah. So I think my the idea I proposed was because we're going to be voting on things with our the Genesis token. We can give just like someone mentioned the Bored Apes, right? Like the Bored Apes are considered the highest tier of membership, and the Mutant Apes are considered a lower tier, but also part of the club. So what they did with Mutant Apes was airdrop one mutant ape for each Bored Ape owner, but also let 10,000 public mints to be purchased for like a certain amount of price, right? So what we can do is we can kind of make this, we can consider the idea of letting more than, letting every pixel avatar, and then also letting like 5,000 people buy this for like a low price point, 0.02 ETH, and then we can randomize their trades. Everyone, the pixel avatars can also vote, but with a lower voting power. Like if the Genesis gives you like 2 points, then maybe the avatar gives you 1 point.
That makes total sense, mate. I think that's potentially a really good idea. For spreading it out there a lot. And then in terms of, I can't remember who it was in the chat. It was Keratus raised a good point about there are a lot of larger unanswered questions about the DAO in terms of kind of what the DAO is and having a treasury and voting in general. I think they're hoping ideally to get like a town hall going with NADA as soon as possible.
I think Nader's very busy at the moment.
he's not. I think he's been traveling and he's been ill. So.
Okay. Sorry about that. He's in Croatia or something before. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And as Keratos just popped in the chat, there's a lot of examples out there in terms of how you can run these things. I think for this, if we can figure out what the options for how we want to make the NFT, and then maybe the two options that have been discussed between only people that already have the Genesis NFT and getting airdropped it, but then potentially another option of also putting it out there for public sale, and then the follow-on impact that could have around like voting rights within the DAO is probably a conversation that we can have down the line. I know that, but like bookmark that. I know that Nader was thinking about airdropping a token as well. So it might be that when he airdrops a token, people that own more of the NFTs get more of those tokens, so therefore have more tokens to vote within the DAO.
Yeah, I think the idea is to put it into kind of stages, which he kind of if we want, it can be separated, but it's kind of like progressively built on what is the previous stage, and then we have clear definition of the goal or the thing that we need to do at each particular stage, and make that bite size so it doesn't seem to be like we want to conquer make a mutant ape straight away kind of thing, and then we do baby steps at a time. Then that way, as we go along, we kind of have a feel about the kind of everybody takes time, right, to come together and collaborate and build this up together. We can have a feel of how everybody works as well.
Yeah, so it's all really, really early stage, right? There's loads of stuff that needs to be discussed and agreed. I think if we get this project rolling now, I think it would be nice bit of momentum for everyone to see something happening.
Then get excited, and then more people coming in and helping it. So
yeah, exactly. Is it Eknoble? Am I saying it right?
Yes.
Oh, Eknoble.
And then it was Neok as well. You guys are doing the design. Is there anyone else that wanted to get involved in the design in terms of the individual words that we're trying to represent for the avatar? Is there anyone that wanted to put their hand up to get involved with the design? No?
I think design might be a bit kind of a subjective thing as well. If there were like 4 or 5 different people designing it, it might be a bit hard to get the same kind of look and kind of the right. I guess I don't know. Eknoble will probably tell better how you want to get help.
I have the Illustrator file, so I can just share them with anyone who wants to help. But I can do it also by myself, no problem.
Yeah. You're not far off, right? I think you said you'd done most of them. I think it was the clothing category that you mentioned yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's move on. Probably got 20 minutes, just in case everybody needs to go somewhere. So okay, this is like the future thing, right? That we talked about just now. So something that will go beyond the thing, because I think just having the arts and keeping it and sort of bragging rights is just not enough. I think we want people to be having a little bit more utility, having some fun with the stuff, and that's where I think I was following around the idea of the Avagochi. Each Avagochi actually has the kind of even interest-bearing token that you can wrap inside an Avagochi, which is pretty interesting. And then there you got you can take an Avagochi, play games on it, and each one of them can earn dev points, whatever, some kind of secondary tokens that people can actually have. And then just have a little bit of fun. So mini games will be very simple to do, but to do that, I think what's Econoble, and just having that in mind, I think we would need the bottom right version to be kind of a separate layer. So and each one of those needs to be unique. So like the man that you see there can only be one version of that unit out of the 88,000 permutations that we're going to have. And that might be just even a dot, or even the eyes on the different side or something like that. It doesn't have to be, very distinct, but as long as they are distinct for each one of the things that is going to be generated, the traits, is that going to be very hard?
Yeah, no problem. I can assign some random pixels, and you can just move them.
We can start with a very simple one, which is just front view. Later on, when we have a bit more time or we get progress a bit more, then we can do the side views and the back view. So then you can have a bit of an arcade game of like even adventuring, or even the kind of the most granular picture, which is the biggest one, is to have kind of a 3D, not 3D, but 2D roam around. People going around, can go around and socialize and chat or whatever. Play games and mini games that's around, that is just like the Bored Ape, where they have the website and then they have the arcade game inside there that you can actually play. There's something along that line. You have a kind of a outer world where like the RAM for the Avagochi, where it's a bigger thing. But yeah, again, that's just something we have to look at. But if we consider that during the initial design, then save us redoing the work again and again, especially when we minted like 8,000 or 10,000 NFTs out there already. So just a consideration at the moment. Thank you.
Are we with the 3 images that have been proposed so far? Are we doing all of them, or do we need to choose one?
What do you mean? I don't know. That's a good question. So you're talking about the 3 here. So one is done by Neok, and the other one, the top one is done by Neok, and the bottom left is by Noble. So and the right one as well, which is just an extraction of the man out.
Yeah. I think they're all pretty dope. But are we planning to do all of them, or do we need to pick one of them?
I think no. The thing is that it's actually all of them. It's
we can't hear you anymore.
Well, the finished one is the one in the left, the orange one. That's the finished one.
What did you say, man? This is the finished one. This is the latest one, right? You shared it the other day.
It's the latest one.
That's the latest one, yeah.
Yeah, dope. And that's the one where you've already done most of the words.
Yeah. But Neok, are we happy to go along that path, Neok, along that line of the bottom left-hand one, or? But we still need some stuff to fit in, right? What you were saying about the symbols, the extra symbols.
Yeah, one icon that it's going to be under the flag.
Yeah, under the flag here somewhere. Okay. So Neok, are you happy with that, or should we? What do you guys think? The 2 versions, or we let the 2 version play along a bit more?
I think we should just select one, because if we go with two different schemes, then it would just disturb the entire thing.
Yeah, I agree.
If it's really like a hard choice, we can put a vote in place or something like that.
Okay. Neok, what do you have to say about this?
I don't think he's here, man.
Oh, he's not here. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Let's go for Inoble. Yeah, I think Inoble have a little bit more time as well. I believe, and Neok can spend over the weekend to actually do it. But have a discussion with Neok. Just and have a check. But I believe I'm happy to go for the Inoble version at the bottom left hand, since that's progressed a bit further. You guys okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. All right. Let me just go back again. So we finished the features. We finished the mini games. You guys are okay with mini games? I mean, they'll be just fun stuff. Okay, so the mandate that we want to try to do is this is just something that I just pull it out. The underlying guidelines for our intention and principles, and I hope everybody can sort of agree to this. So we just want to learn something, right? And the idea is about learning for ourselves, but through others, and also helping others to learn, spread the knowledge to the team, and then to the public in general about crypto. I think this is the one I want to cover a bit more, and my suggestion is to accelerate. We need to emphasize on speed and momentum, because the more momentum the project has, the more kind of more lively, and you just can't afford to fall down, kind of thing, right? But to have speed, I think we need to leverage on each other's strengths. And I tell you why this is a bit of a challenge with us to leverage on each other's strengths later on in next few slides. But the idea is for us to go to the market as fast as we can, and just getting quick wins, especially this early thing where people are like looking at us, hey, is this a scam? Is this a failed experiment? That kind of stuff. So I think it is on us to actually move pretty quick and to come out and once in a while do a bit of show off, so that's why tweet it in the or put some even to other people in the DAO itself, the other areas, the other channels, just say what we're doing, share with them, and then have a bit of tweet, get people excited a bit, and to say what or to get some suggestion as well. So speed is, I think, let's try to make this as quick as we can possibly, right? But not to the expense of bonding as a team. So I think this is very important. I think, I mean, I don't know any one of you at the moment, honestly, but I can feel that we have a good culture, a good kind of people out there who's kind and willing to help, and kind of a team spirit, and kind of taking initiative like Camstar or Excellent Mate, So a lot of people out there that go getters kind of thing. We want more of this, and at the same time, do not just do work, and then not helping somebody who have something in need.
Yeah, man. I think
we've
got lots of awesome people in here. There's lots of people with lots of different skills and traits.
Yeah.
So if we because we might run out of time. So if we've got if Eknoble and potentially Neok are happy to roll on with that other design, do other people think that maybe we should put it to a vote in terms of between those 3 different designs, or has anyone got opinion on about which one they might prefer, or are we happy to just roll forward with the Eknoble one that he's got there? Like maybe if
I think we're all happy to go the Eknoble one. I believe, unless somebody not happy that direction. Anyone? Everybody agree?
I agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
all good.
So I think
And
design is set. Design is set.
Yeah, velocity,
Okay.
exactly. And do we have anyone that?
Okay.
Anyone
So the next point is that. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say, and do we have anyone that's like pretty experienced with Solidity, has written contracts for NFTs in the past, and also who is it that wants to get involved in like the dev side of things? Because I think you could probably, once the design's happening and Eknoble's running with it, and we're all happy with that, I think you could start writing the contract as well alongside it, and then all of the other questions that we want to answer around like the DAO and all and the if there's a clawback and a treasury and et cetera, we can. I don't know enough about Solidity and writing any NFTs to know what that will cause.
Camstar, is it?
Yeah, man.
Hey, sorry, man. I think most important with Solidity, because then we can branch into so many different paths, so many different things. We need to actually define this thing a bit more about what we were trying to build, because right now I think it's quite vague. What is level 1? What's level 2? How we going to do the drops? So I think let's have that into kind of a writing, and then after that, I'll tell you how we can do it. There's a process that I think we can suggest on how people can take up stuff. So let me just go through 3 more slides, and then we should be done. Just 1 second. Okay, so in a decentralized environment like this, where so many skills and so many people, right? It is very hard for us to dictate or to ask anybody to do in a particular way that they are not familiar with. For instance, let me tell you, like even in the Solidity, right? And all those building the Web3, right? There's Hardhat, there's Truffle, there's so many different frameworks out there. And then we got don't tell me about the front end, they got React, we got Vue, we got so many different things, right? So I think it'll be very difficult for us to dictate, okay, let's all do in a particular framework or particular way. So I think the way to go for it is to build something quickly, fast, with whatever that you or a particular person have the skills in it and you want to be championing it. So let's say, let's give an example, right? So right now, let's say the first task we want to do is just that generator that is out there, right? So we know that we want to build the generator. Somebody comes in and then it pulls out and then it just spits out the thing, right? So somebody actually have to do it. Now, I think it's probably, we do not need to dictate whether somebody needs to do it in React or Vue, whatever. So whoever wants to pick up that task, that project, they can actually do it, right? And I do not want to think that we should not let anybody else do it in any other way. So let's say somebody comes out and they say, hey, that's a good task, let's do it. I think I can hack it in JavaScript. Okay, do it. And then I want to take it up in React, do it. If I want to take it in Vue, just do it, right? And then in the end, we're going to have 3 versions, right? That is doing the same thing. It doesn't matter, but only one can be the official one that we can vote on, just like what we have right now. So if I were to wait for somebody to do the design, like New York or Enogbo, right, whatever, right, and in doing the particular in Photoshop or Illustrator and whatever, and somebody might not have the thing. So we go quite far with the speed of the design at the moment, because we do not dictate how or what the person need to do it. So let's dictate what task we want and let the decentralized autonomous and people out there pick up. Now, if there's no one who pick up, then there's another thing, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who wants to crack on it. Now, the person who first pick up the project, right? So the anyone who wants to build will be allowed to build, provided the project gets a go and has at least 2 votes, right? So I think let's say now we want to build the generator. I think we can get more than 2 votes for that. Definitely something that we want to try to do. So we just get a list of all the stuff that we want to try to do, like what you said, Camstar. So about the Solidity project, let's put it out there. Let's say, okay, we want to do this the Solidity thing, but we need to be quite clear what is it that we want to get built, right? And what stage and how deep into it that we want to do. And then whoever wants to pick it up, just somehow into the system, I don't know, GitHub or whatever, we're still not clear about how we want to collaborate, but GitHub will be fine. And just pick it up and say, yes, I want to do it. I'll be championing this. And whoever is championing it, then go ahead, take up that particular project, and then after that they can then have recruits that can help to coordinate with them, right? So that way we get multiple projects running at the same time. Whoever wants to take an initiative on it just have to get inside this team, the Pixel Avatar, and just say, hey, and I want to try to do this particular project. I think it's a good thing. Do anybody want to nominate on it? And if there's 2 people at least seconding it to say, yes, I want to actually vote on it, then that project get a bit of wings, and then can start doing it in whatever framework that he wants to try to do it, right? And then push it along. And then eventually, if we got 2 or 3 multiple versions of the same thing, we have to vote one that can go into maybe mainnet, so everything else can stay in testnet. Just kind of a proof of concept for everybody. That's my way of thinking. Again, you can be wrong, but I've been thinking a lot about how we want to try to and looking at the past experience of the last few days of how the design thing takes shape and how fast it actually gone through. I think this kind of a good thing that we can go along. So again, many of the same type, but only one can be the official leader that then gets promoted into mainnet. That the one that we then focus on after that. But the initial genesis, anybody can try to do kind of proof of concept. We shouldn't stop anybody from saying, hey, that's a kind of a dumb idea, or no, I don't think you should do that kind of thing. So, well, at least 2 people have to vote on it. But if once 2 people said, yeah, it's okay, go ahead, do it. And the others later on, the reason why we are doing this, remember, coming to the mandate is because of learning, right? So if somebody do it in Hardhat, for instance, and another person do it in Truffle, then at least when we then take a look at it, oh, okay, that's how you do it in Truffle instead of Hardhat. You know what I mean? So there's actually a comparison, kind of a learning and reference template. So it wouldn't go to waste. It'll still be in the GitHub repository as a reference template. If somebody wants to pick it up and do other stuff that is in Truffle instead of Hardhat, they can still do it, right? So that's my idea of kind of guiding into the learning principle as well. So anybody got kind of suggestion, Kemstar? What do you think?
Yeah, I was just going to say what I'm hearing so far is that probably this project has to be split up in 3, and obviously there's different people that could take different parts to it. I think that there's the artwork, like the actual generation of the artwork, which Enoble could take care of. There's the just the randomization for different what's the word I'm looking for? Permutations of different graphics. So just the actual script. I've seen like Python scripts for this as well, just to generate text.
Yeah.
And then this, yeah, you're right, the solidity aspect of it, which might even encompass, was mentioned at the beginning of this chat, was the idea of introducing IPFS, because storing that kind of data, I would assume at that point, from a solidity point of view, you wouldn't be able to store that much data within that, right? And I would think that we wouldn't want to have it, the metadata off chain in that sense, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good separation. I don't know enough about smart contracts, so I don't know how much knowledge you've got. Is it Manny? I assume.
Yeah.
Around how it works, like if you can just randomize it within the smart contract, and it's not going to have a huge effect on gas fee or whatever, or we do need to shift it off into a Python script. Maybe we could create some threads in the channel for design, build, and then like whatever you would call the other discussion about how we want this to work from a...
Randomization is kind of a very tough thing to do in Solidity straight off. Where we see people have quite good progress is by using like Chainlink VRF, for instance, that will give you true randomness and stuff. So it's a big topic that we want to try to do. But do we? I mean, look, that does come out with something which is pseudo random, which we can already predict what's going to come out, right? So and that get kicked off as well. So we can tackle that randomness. Let's put it on the table. See how we want to actually generate in terms of that. Obviously there's a lot of all those calculation like rarity involved. The bell curve and all those other things. If you want to get really really complex. But again, like I said, let's you're right that three different areas is pretty good. So we got Enoble for the artwork. So we got 2 more positions then. One to do some of the front end and the other one to do the back end, I guess, right? So that's the 2 things that we try to do.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I might even propose a 4th option, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but at the beginning we talked about the idea of this being a learning process as well. It would be good that there be a fourth mandate, which is just the documentation of this process, almost like a white paper, so that we can republish it to show what work was done and to go into it, really.
Okay, so like record keeping, housekeeping, and document organization kind of mandate. Stream.
Yeah, just to kind of show like what the work went into it, like our process here.
Okay.
Because if we're coming back and we're kind of republishing this to like an open source project as well that people can kind of look at, it would be good to kind of see what
sure.
the whole process from start to finish is.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
I really like that idea specifically because I think that it's really helpful for us to think about working in public as a collective. Because we get a lot of benefits out of that for ourselves and knowledge that we can share with others too.
Yeah, I think one thing that I really would like to see, if possible, is that we have all these starter options that we can start off with. If anybody wants to have a go at it, they can start off with, So we can start. The starter option will be very simply just a login thing in different frameworks, whatever. Whoever wants to actually do this the tutorial, the learning aspects of it, I think perhaps it's already another stream kind of thing, because they would want to, let's say, a template that we want with Truffle and Web3, for instance, or Hardhat and Ether.js, another template, the starter template for anybody who wants to work with this, and some common libraries that those front end can tap into, like calculating the SVG, converting the SVG into bitmaps, and putting it out into the and for the game, there's like Phaser template, there's Kaboom JS templates that we can actually have. So many templates, that Kickstarter templates that we can have in the GitHub repository, as well as cookbooks. So how to do this or how to do that. Very simple functions that we can put into our GitHub repository for people to just, hey, I want to do something like this. Let's see in the cookbook. Let that function. Oh, okay, there's already a function to actually pull out the avatar traits. Why should I reinvent the wheel? Let's just use that library, So that's where we get the leverage and the collaborative effort to go very fast as we learn through this whole thing. And then other people can take a look at how we do it, right? The reference implementations of stuff. So I think that's a very good idea. And then I think it goes in the mandate for learning as well. So let's do that. So four positions now. So 3 positions open. Actually, can I say that these 3 positions might not be 3 positions? It can be 6 positions. Whoever is interested in taking up one of these streams, they just sign up for it, right? And say, if it's a project that's already existing, they can help with it. If there's a project that's new, they can start with it, as long as they got 2 votes, right? But then it'll be divided into these 3 different things. So learning and documentation should be another one project, right? For us to learn and document stuff. Solidity is one, and then the other one is front end and artwork. So 4 of them. How about that?
Yeah. So how do we want these groups to organize? Do we just want to have a thread in the project channel, or do we want to dump it all on GitHub?
That's the thing. I think ideally, you know what I was thinking of? Just a simple site that people can log in using their NFT. And just put a vote on it, like a wave thing at Campstar. But instead of camping, they just put an idea in it, and then people just vote on it.
I've seen other DAOs use their own forums where you can log in, and they do all of the stuff there.
Okay, what forums? Is that free?
I don't know. Some of them are really custom made. Some of them look similar.
Yeah. So I think we're one of the mods is looking at Discourse and getting a hosted version of Discourse for people. So again, we need to get this town hall thing going where we talk about the DAO larger.
GitHub books as well, I saw. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do like proposals and voting and things like that on Git books if we want documentation. Yeah,
we try voting in Discord. It's just messy.
So what I was getting at before is if we've got these sort of 3 or 4 work streams going on, how do we organize that? So do we have a design thread, build thread, Do
Okay.
you know what I mean? Just so we can
Yeah,
organize
yeah.
a conversation and people know where they need to go. And so,
sure,
like, if we go with Noble's design and he's dropping in ideas, he can just drop it in there and everyone knows where to find it.
Okay.
Or alternatively, do we do it on GitHub? And then also
Yeah,
anyone that's interested in building can just jump straight in there and get involved.
So we can leverage GitHub as much as possible. So GitHub got bugs, right? So anything to do with bugs or issues, we can put in there. Any feature requests, we can also put into GitHub, right? For a particular project. I think we should use multi-repo instead of mono-repo to make it easier. What do you guys think? Rather than one repo, because one repo and everybody pulls out from it can be a mess, especially for newbies who do not know how to merge and whatever. So we can have one repo per project, right? That's for well, I don't know whether the GitHub can also do the images as well. That's another thing. But in terms of Discord, maybe one thread per project, Camstar? I don't know.
I don't mind. Maybe we gather the options and then just put a post out into the channel and people can vote.
Okay. Let's do that and then do a vote on how to do it. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do that. I guess
it's not formal, but it should work.
Yeah, we're kind of over the time a bit here, but is there anything else you guys want to say? Or I think this is a good start. I think that awesome contribution for everybody. And yeah, it's feeling excited about this.
I think I was going to ask is, can we establish just a doc of what we are trying to accomplish here? Because I think we might, to prevent like scope creep a bit, just to make sure that we're all on the same page as to exactly what we're building here. Because this could go down a rabbit hole for how many features that you kind of add.
No. Yeah. No, I agree. I think the feature thing will be giving us decision paralysis, right? So we're adding so many features, whatever, things like that. It shouldn't. It's more like a brainstorm. So you can dump as many features as I want, or you want, or whoever wants, right? But then what gets into kind of the first build, we go to the voting, right? So and the first vote, the first definition of what we want to build, right? We can collaboratively say, okay, this is the highest priority that we want to try to have, and let's have this first, and push for it, and then that's what we're going to build. So the definition needs to be correct, like you said. But we can have as many features as we can for the wishful thinking kind of thing, right? But we do want the first genesis, the first iteration. I think right now, the very first thing, let me put it this way, the takeaway from today, if ever, is that we just want to build a generator that's front end, which does not even involve Solidity, right? That you can just pull out the traits and use the assets that's given by the design team to display something on the screen. And as simple as that. That will be like, if we can do that like within next week, that'll be super awesome. I don't know whether the generation can be done that fast of the graphics, but you don't have to do all Ignobile. Just a set, maybe 4 or 5 different sets that can fit into a test like 2272 mine, or anybody. So maybe 5 different defs that you can actually generate by the trait, and somebody can pick up the front end to actually generate it straight away. While we then in parallel, let's define what we want to do for the Solidity stuff. So yeah, again, we're not trying to build everything, and we shouldn't get the scope creep if we then collectively say what we want to be the first versions of whatever that we want to try to build. You're right, but we need to put that in the GitHub, I think, somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, man. I think like in its simplest terms, it's just what design are we going ahead with, and then move ahead with that, and then how are we going to build it, and then move ahead with building it, and then just make sure we organize those conversations so everyone's on the same page.
Okay, and then we go ahead hunt for the 3 leads. Yeah.
I think a good idea would be to like create an issue that where we can discuss what we want from the project. Like I think many asked about it. So and then we can pin it on the top. So whenever someone new or even someone working on the project goes to GitHub, that's where all the information is. This is what we agreed on. This is what we want to build. and then we can continue the conversation for the 3 or 4 different mini projects or sub features that we want to build. So we can put everything on GitHub. Everything is organized in one place. I think that's would be a bit convenient rather than having half of the things on Discord, half of the things on GitHub.
Yeah, the Git Discord should be just for discussion. I think. Yeah, you're right. Not to store as a storage of information. I think. Yeah. So anybody, I saw somebody in the thread that was very good in organizing this the GitHub stuff. Is there anybody want to help do that? Maybe that can be the to help us with the fourth thing about learning and documentation and kind of piecing things up together. Kemstar, what do you think?
I'm not the best at organizing.
No, not you. I mean,
like
somebody who volunteered for that.
It's with
with Heart. I can definitely help.
With Heart.
Okay, thanks. Awesome. All right.
So
yeah.
Shall I write something up and then we'll figure out a place to put it so we can all talk about it and figure out what we want to do, and then from there I think it'd be quite easy to people to just pick up stuff that needs to get done. Awesome. I don't think it will need to be massively complicated from there. I think people will pick up streams of work and then just do the design, and then whoever's got the Solidity skills or we'll just pick up starting to build that, and they can kind of discuss together.
Look at everything here is about momentum.
Figure out.
Yeah, it's all about momentum, and if you're craving to do something, do the proof of concept, show to people, and then if we all we vote for it, and it has wings, right? So let's see how we can actually move forward, and let's do it. Okay. So I guess we can call it a day for this particular session then. Unless anybody want other things to discuss, we should say maybe we meet fortnightly. What do you guys think? Every Sunday this time.
That sounds good to me.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, cool. Let's meet every Sunday. Other than that, is Discord. We're always there, and then we just take it from there. And remember, there's nothing wrong that you can do. We won't penalize for anything, any efforts. All right.
I think we discussed. Looks like we can create threads for each project, right? So I think let's do that under ours. I see there's a meeting text channel. Can we create multiple for each of the channels? Is that something we can?
Yeah, I think that's a good shout for chit chat, just in terms of like have a design build, and then I don't know, general whatever it is in terms of what kind of approach we take with the NFTs in terms of like the Bored Ape Yacht Club and blah blah conversation, and then if anything that's proposed or needs to be recorded, just put it on GitHub. But if we get those threads going, get the conversation going, then with Heart can probably figure out a better way of maybe for organizing GitHub to actually get the project moving.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let's do it. So thanks guys for coming, and have the good rest of your holidays, I guess. Weekend.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Cheers,
you.
man.
Thank you all. Thanks, Kemstar. Thanks everybody else. Ignobil. Yeah.
See you guys.
Bye.
See you.